Hey, Kamie, since your loss to Gonzaga, where specifically have you guys been improving?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like a little bit of just, maybe some light bulbs just come on at different times in the season. And I think, young players trying to figure it all out, kind of got back to getting whipped. I think we got whipped pretty good against some of the physicality that we played in the early preseason. And then we didn't see a lot of that physicality. And then all of a sudden Gonzaga comes in here and, just it really kind of opened our eyes again to how much more physical some teams play than us. And I just think we've responded in a really good way, trying to implement that in practice, trying to but I do think over in a general sense, I think our players are getting more comfortable with what we're trying to do, sharing the basketball, their roles, and I think defensively we're making improvements as we go too.
Statistically, it appears that Astaire has been struggling a little bit. What have you seen?
Yeah, I think she got a little bug. I mean, we've tried every test imaginable, but she's been really winded. Thought mono for a little bit, and thankfully she didn't have that, and just hadn't felt great, in her conditioning and just fatigue side of it things. But I think she's pretty much healthy. She's on the mend. She's getting to feel better. Again, I thought, she's one of seven. I don't know how you say that she's not been playing well. She's maybe not been shooting well. She's one of seven,
Yeah.
had 8 rebounds and 5 assists, and was great defensively. So again, I think she's an example of what I'm talking to our young players about, is that you can dominate a game without scoring a point, and she's an example of that.
Uh, a little bit about Portland. What do you see with Portland?
Same as Gonzaga, physical, seasoned, athletic. Burnham and Shear are so athletic, bouncy, um, and they just play really, really hungry. They play like they know how to win. They're unique in how they play, that whatever you call it, matchup zone, sometimes man. I don't even know. I'm not sure I know what it is, but um, you can't mimic it. You can't prepare for it very good because no
Yeah.
one, they're so unique in playing it. The press, they're effective there. They get a lot of easy baskets. Hard team to prepare for, hard team to play, and obviously, I think they're never out of a game. They can get back into games. They just seem like a real experienced, seasoned team that is very used to winning.
They really want you to play the full length of the and width of the court, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, they force you to do that for sure.
Mhm.
I think that's high risk, high reward. Sometimes I think they give up some things just to keep it going. But they sure, and they morph. It's not like, it's a 1-2-1-1 and you can prepare for that. That, it's soft one time, it's really aggressive one time, it's trapping, it's getting back, it's a 2-2-1. It's more man and run and jump. I mean, and if you get yourself in a bad spot on the floor, going too fast or just dribbling at somebody, they'll turn around and double team you. And they're so good at just spreading out and getting to the next passes. I mean, just again, so good at what they do. And it's hard to keep your turnovers down, I think, against that team. And clearly you have turnovers and they're getting easy baskets. So it's key for us to take care of the basketball.
Does it appear that their objective is just to speed you up? Period.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think all good teams do things to you to speed you up, to make you have to make decisions and that you can't, one dimensional, only see one thing. They leave, the furthest person away open. But again, I think they're they're going to force you into making a decision. They're not going to let you pick them apart and they're not going to let you pass it all around and just take anything you want. They're going to double sometimes. They're going to double the ball. They're going to double the post. No question. I think they try to speed you up, try to get people that aren't good ball handlers or decision makers, in those positions. Um, and just so good at I just keep saying morphing their zone and morphing their press into different looks that you can't ever get very comfortable.
Have you played a team like Portland?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not very much. Um, that not someone that's pressing as much as them and so matchy, in the front court. It's like I said, it's you sometimes you feel like you as a coach you get to do a lot and you have to manage a game and sometimes there's just certain games that you just go, I can't help you. This is really a basketball game that you're gonna have to make really good decisions when you're playing fast and when you're sped up and when you pick up your dribble and how you do that and when to use it. I mean, it's just you're going to be put in spots where you're going to have to make really good decisions, and it's not like we can draw up something and go, this is going to work, because they're gonna change and they're going to make you make a different read the next time.
Thanks, Kamie. Good luck tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg. And Sam Taylor, go ahead when you're ready.
Thanks. So just looking at Portland's schedule, obviously the conference played a bunch of common opponents, but their only 3 losses have come to Gonzaga and Oregon State, I believe. What can you draw from that tape of those games that the Beavers and the Zags were able to do against Portland?
Well, I honestly didn't watch their first game against Oregon State. I watched the second one, and they beat them by a lot. Portland adjusted and beat Oregon State by a lot. I think Oregon State's a team that is, sometimes the first time you play somebody, you're not exactly sure what they are, and I think that probably happened a little bit to Portland and Oregon State, and then obviously Portland pretty much got any shot they wanted against Oregon State the second time they played it. So maybe a little bit of the size, is different than what Portland had been playing. We're a little bit like that with Oregon State, but we play, very different, I think, too, but we do have some size like that. And the Gonzaga games, I just think are just hilarious because they could have gone either way. Gonzaga wins both of them. And I don't know, did they win both by a total of 2 points? Were both 1-point games or something like that? Like, it's crazy how close they are. And, either team, they could have split or, Portland could have easily won twice. So I think those two teams are so alike. They're both physical. They both have really great wings and strong and long bodies. Clearly great 3-point shooting team. A lot of people can hurt you there. And, just bangers. They're not super big, but they bang and they're not afraid of the physical contact. So we didn't handle that very well against Gonzaga, and Portland is a lot like that.
It seemed that Alex Koville was able to really take a step this past week. What led to her getting the results on the court that we saw?
Who?
Alex Koville.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, we've really tried to simplify some of the things that, our entries into offense, and we really want to be aggressive the first 5 or 10 seconds of offense. We want to push the ball every single time. We don't want our kids thinking they got to go to a spot on the floor. I think we had them a little bit too robotic early in our season. And so, and really told our posts, whoever it is, whether it's Alex or Candace or another wing, Tara, Jenna, we want a lot of different people running the floor and running hard to the block. And but with Alex is really taking it to heart. She's just gotten herself great position. She's dribbling less. She's, doing the work early and getting the ball in a little tighter and can just turn and shoot over people. And we're doing a better job of finding her. I think the guards are doing a better job. So a little bit, I think it's just growing, her getting some confidence and her figuring out. And, again, I think the big part is we've got a 6'6" player. We got to get her, and even Candace, we've got to get them easy baskets. I think when you really watch, you got to get just like a little lob that leads to a bunny. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to make a move. You just turn and shoot. And we give up with some of those. Ejim gets a ton of those because she works so hard, and they're great at giving her the ball. And I think early in the season, we were constantly just never getting those easy baskets. And they were always having to make moves and they were always having to dribble and it was just too much. And now I just think the whole team is doing a better job of getting them easier looks and you know, and she's gaining confidence. And when she gets a few easy looks, then all of a sudden, you know, she makes some tough shots too. So credit to her just staying with it. She's a versatile player. She can step out and make 15 and 17 footers. So, you know, you can't just lean on her. She really can help us in a lot of different spots. And, you know, I think she feels good about herself on most of the time on the defensive end, really blocking shots and creating some problems for the other team.
What have you been pleased about how some of your freshmen have been able to contribute? Maybe not some in the scoring statistic, but others, you know, with Diana with rebounds and in other aspects of the game, and how have they made your team better?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel so good about our freshmen. I think they're all just on the verge of you know, just figuring a lot of things out. I mean, I'm confident in their shooting and their you know, playmaking abilities. Shasha's coming back and going to be, you know, getting back into the swing of things soon. You know, that gives us another wing and body, talented player that can shoot it. Marta, I don't think there's a better, you know, defensive player in the league than Marta is. Have a lot of confidence in her decision making and her shot making. I think that's going to come along. Dee's awesome. You know, we're finally figuring out how to play with Dee, and she's been so good defensively and getting a little bit more active, you know, rebounding and the scoring will come, I promise you. But you know, those three in particular have just been pretty dominant and very consistent in their effort, in their defense, and you know, impacting the game when they come in. So you know, Beanie, our little point guard, she's going to keep getting minutes. Again, I want her to play fast and play different than AT. So I really like our young players, and I think they're getting better almost every single day. So that gives us a lot of depth and a lot of weapons off the bench.
For Dee specifically, what will lead to her turning the corner and scoring more? Is that just a more time, more comfort on the court, or yeah?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the hard part for her is, you know, she's just still nursing some knee pain and knee injuries and trying to get just her strength up in her legs. And again, she didn't play for a year and a half before she got here. And then she's been a little bit, you know, banged up a little bit and not been able to practice and work on her skills quite as much as, you know, ultimately we hope for. But I think just her getting more comfortable within our system and where she can pick and choose her moments to score. Clearly, we love her 3-point shot. I know her statistics and numbers don't look good, but I hope people just continue to not guard her because she's gonna start knocking those down. You know, she's such a quick jumper, so she's like we talked about with Alex and Candy. We want them to get some easy baskets, and she's so quick inside. She's going to be able to get some easy baskets for us. So yeah, a lot of comfort, a lot of making an impact on the defensive end and rebounding. And, you know, she can get an offensive rebound and put back that a lot of other players can't get. So I just want her to work on those things and not worry so much about, you know, again, all of our players shouldn't worry about, I got to go score. It's the only way I'm going to stay in the game. She really is capable of staying in the game in so many other areas of the game. So she just needs to be great on the defensive end, really rebound, run the floor, and she's probably going to get some points even in doing those things.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
All right,
Sam.
Thanks, Coach.
Let's go. Go Cougs.